Here are my required reading sci-fi fantasy books. Starting off, you guys already know, I don't know how many times I'm going to talk about this book, but this should be required reading in all schools. This is such a good way to learn and understand white capitalist colonialism. It's just so necessary, I feel like, especially in this day and age, where I feel like a lot of it's trying to be covered up. If we start throwing this in schools, this will probably be banned from libraries, but for now, we should try as hard as we can. Number 2, Gideon the Ninth. I think this book is just a masterclass in, first of all, literature. Second of all, brain rot. Third of all, brain nourishment. And fourth of all, the character work, the complexity of the characters. This is one of the greatest books I think I've ever read. Not even kidding. Is this science fiction fantasy dystopia? Yeah, I think this counts. Next is 1984. As much as I hate this book because it was like boring, I understand why it is required reading now. I think it's above the reading level of many a high schooler in 2024, but this I think is a good warning against totalitarianism, authoritarianism, even against capitalism as well. Everybody needs to read this at least once in their life and then just like never touch it again. It's boring, yes, but I think it's very valuable, unfortunately. And then if you've ever been on this page before, you already know Way of Kings, peak my freaking go. This is the second greatest piece of fiction to ever be written. First one obviously being One Piece. Just one of the greatest stories ever told. That's all I gotta say. Next is the Sword of Kaigen. I'm just choosing popular shit, but like it's popular for a reason, you know? This absolutely needs to be required reading. This is just such good tones and themes about patriarchy and domestic abuse and just like the power of women. This is it. This should be required reading. Everybody needs to read this book at least once. The next book is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I've only read the first one and I'm gonna go back and reread it in 2025, but it's just such a valuable book of what it means to be a strong human being, a strong woman. Everybody needs to read it. Required reading.